You're listening to UCW Radio. In your face.
What we got here is a failure to communicate.
Oh, have I got your attention now?
Greed, for lack of a better word, is good.
You know what I mean?
Money to be made in a place like this.
Money never sleeps, pal.
You're crazy. Don't run when you lose. Don't whine when it hurts.
You know what it takes to sell real estate?
It takes brass.
I've fallen, and I can't get up!
All right, welcome to Money Never Sleeps, the show where we touch on everything and anything that impacts the flow of money from around the corner to around the world. And I want to thank you for taking the time to join us today. We are working on making Money Never Sleeps a daily show, bringing it to you each and every weekday. And we're not just going to be touching on current events, but we're looking to put a spotlight on companies that may be of interest to our listeners. And not all companies that are spotlighted will be favorable. I will be expressing my opinion on the company or on the industry. So it's not about a rah-rah session. Some of my opinions may, go down a negative road. But I plan on touching on this and making Money Never Sleeps as interesting as possible for our listeners. Now, today I want to talk about Twitter and its future as I see it. But first, I want to touch on a couple of things not related to Twitter that I actually just want to, throw in the beginning of the show, because I'm not going to have a chance to bring it up later. Make sure that you check out Super Rich on CNBC. It's a great show. This is where you will take a peek into the lives of the uber, super duper wealthy. And it's a wild ride, and it's a great show, and it may inspire you to want a little more out of your life. Do that extra trade or do something. They feature, again, the super duper rich. They feature mansions, cars, the food, travel, so on and so forth. And the super rich team really delivers the goods to their viewers, so check them out on CNBC. And also, take the time to show your support for a true Wonder Woman. She's a true warrior in Lynn Tilton. She's the epitome of the American dream. She built an empire from nothing. She created close to 700,000 jobs since inception, and she kept Americans working. Here in the U.S., she kept manufacturing in America in certain industries. So you can find out more about what she's doing and what's going on with her at sheforall.com. Now, let's talk about Twitter, and I'm sure that I'm going to get feedback from this, and it may be good, may be bad, but this, again, this is my opinion, and this is what I see. This is what I see happening with the company right now. There's been a lot of talk about Twitter being acquired. First it was by Facebook, and then it was by Yahoo, and the latest buzz is that the company may be an acquisition target for Google. Now, could there be any truth to these rumors? Sure, there's always a possibility, but in my opinion, Twitter is on the verge of something that can be a game changer for the company. And I think that this is one of the very few tech companies that were darlings of Wall Street that didn't have their founders at the helm when they went public. So that, to me, that was just an interesting situation, because if you look at Facebook, Google, and other companies, they had the founders at the helm when they went public, and they had to build a company and grow it. So why the founders, weren't a part of the company even pre-IPO, I don't know. I don't have those answers. But I publicly stated that this, in my opinion, was a bump in the road, even pre-IPO. Twitter is still very much so a growth situation. It's a growth company. And it's important that investors are aware of this, that they're still growing. They have a lot more to do. And I believe that they went public prematurely, but I do understand why they had to strike while the iron was hot. They had to do it when they had the opportunity to do it. But with that said, they have not executed well with their acquisitions or on their own platform since the IPO, even before the IPO. I would say again, that their execution across the board hasn't been what it should be, and that I believe it could be. Now, the thing that kills me about Twitter is that the company, again, has so much potential. the founders not being at the helm, look, everyone got used to that. But now, the recent events with the company, with Costello shifting his roles within the company, what it's actually doing, people are looking at that. Some people are looking at that as a positive, because he stepped down from the CEO role. But then again, he just moved from there to the board of directors. So it's just a shift. I'm sure he's still going to have. I'm certain he's going to still have some say with what goes on with the company. But what that's done, that shift, what it did, it opened the door for potentially some fresh eyes to bring the company to the point, that they're delivering on the growth potential that everyone has seen in the company. That's why people got involved in the IPO. They saw the growth. If you look at Facebook, before the IPO, people were going crazy. They were crazy for the company. When the company went public and the whole fiasco happened and the stock came tumbling down, everybody they were against Facebook, everything else. I sat there and I said, you know what? It's a buying opportunity, because people that understand what they're trying to do saw the vision. So at one point, the stock at the lowest point, I believe it was at $17. As of now, the stock's going. It's going to be shooting above 100. Not a bad gain if you had vision, if you saw the potential, if you believed in the company as to what they were going to do and why they went public in the first place. They went public to raise capital. They went public so they can make acquisitions. They went public so they can do a lot of things. Twitter went public for the same reason. They didn't just go public just to go and fill their pockets. They went public for a reason, because they want to grow. They want to take advantage of the growth situation. And being a publicly traded company, you actually have more exposure to financing. You have more exposure to people, to investors, to the media, so on and so forth. And there's so much more you can do and expand and grow. And you can leverage, publicly traded stock to make acquisitions. So it kind of takes the pressure off your balance sheet as well. Okay, so there are a lot of big benefits of being a publicly traded company. Now, Twitter has been compared to Facebook in so many different ways, and the reality is you can't compare the two platforms. There's no way. Anyone that understands social media understands that these are two different animals. They're night and day. The only way that I can actually explain it to anyone is like this. If you don't understand social media, if you don't understand the difference between the two, let me just paint this picture for you. If you build a house, you have your property, right? And before you build a house, you have to pour the foundation. You have to put the foundation in there to support the house, right? So if you acquire enough property and pour a wide enough foundation and just build, and maybe you're not going to go build a horrendous house. You want a small house, but you're building enough of a foundation there so that you can actually expand and add on to that house later on without digging another foundation or buying additional property. Okay, so what Facebook has done, they have done that. Now, if you limit yourself to the property that you acquire, and you pour the foundation just suited for your home at the moment, the home that you're building at that moment, you pour the foundation for the house that you're going to build at that moment, and you're not looking down the road, you're not looking at the future, then you limited yourself to having a home that would just be there, where you can't. It'll be difficult to add on to it horizontally or potentially vertically. So that's Twitter. Okay, they're limited with how they can expand internally. Now, again, as I said, Facebook took this into consideration from day one, and that's why they continue and they're able to add on all these different components to its platform. If you go on there, you'll see all these little diddy dots all over the place. They're more functionality, and more of this, more of that for their users. But at the end of the day, even though it's functional for the users and it keeps them coming back because it's something new, for Facebook, it just keeps the register ringing as ad dollars roll in. Now, Twitter cannot add on as Facebook is able to, and that's part of the issue with that. Okay, but what they've done is the next best thing, and they made some strategic acquisitions that can pay off for them in the next couple of years. And I think that that's going to be key for Twitter, and making these key acquisitions where they can kind of complement Twitter, and also create a different avenue of revenue. And that's the big thing. You need to make money. They're selling ads, they're doing certain things, and that's fine, that's great. But I believe that the potential is a lot more than what they're doing today. Okay, and granted, you have to be patient. Facebook, they went from being a desktop. They were just a desktop situation, and they had to make that transition to mobile after they went public. When they did that, they hit some bumps in the road, but they started to master it. And now I have to say a majority of their ad revenue is coming from mobile, and they're continuing to increase that. So Twitter needs to do that as well, but it's not just going to happen solely from Twitter itself. They have to make those strategic acquisitions in order for them to actually be able to benefit more from the ad dollars that are rolling in. Because advertisers are getting really particular with how they're targeting their ads. With Facebook, it's really interesting because they have the ability to give advertisers the opportunity to actually seriously target, because they have so much metadata on each of their users, from date of birth to this and that. And if you go in there, they're constantly asking you more questions. It's like you're doing a survey for the rest of your life, and they're doing it because they want to advertise to you, and that's how they're making their money in order for you to utilize it for free. Okay, at one point in the past, they were going to charge people to go on Facebook. And I think that lasted about 10 minutes before there was an uproar. So the bottom line is, Twitter, the only way that they're going to be able to actually increase those ad dollars is by making strategic acquisitions and bringing that value to have users become more active, not only on Twitter but on other platforms they may have. Okay, so what I want to do right now, I just want to take a quick break. And when we come back, I will touch on those strategic acquisitions, actually, on one in particular. So stay with us on Money Never Sleeps, and we're going to be right back after this quick break.
Hi, everyone. John and Pete Najarian here at the NASDAQ with some news you do not want to miss.
As option floor traders, CNBC contributors, and co-founders of OptionMonster.com, people always want to know our secrets for trading the options.
So we wrote an entire book on it. And today, to celebrate the book launch, we're giving away a limited number of these books for free. All you have to do is cover shipping and handling.
Learn how you can use options like we do to make more income with less capital,
to reduce your investment risks,
and to make money regardless of which way the market's moving.
It's all right here in this book, and today we're giving it away to you for free.
Equity options today are hailed as one of the most successful financial products to be introduced in modern times. You have to learn to profit from them.
This one book could dramatically increase your investment returns.
And today, it's free.
So pick up that phone and call now.
Call 1-800-961-1923 for your free book. That's 1-800-961-1923. Call now.
This is Chef Gavin Murphy with your 1-minute healthy cooking tip. For all my fellow fitness freaks out there, eating lean, high-protein meats like chicken, turkey, or even pork loin is part of our everyday diet. I get asked all the time, how do I make chicken breast juicy and not dry and overcooked? This is how. Season the breast with salt and pepper and sear in a drizzle of olive oil in a hot pan until golden on both sides. Preheat your oven to 400 degrees and place the breasts on a foiled oven tray. Pour 1 cup of chicken broth on the tray and pop it in the oven for 6 to 7 minutes. What's going to happen is the broth will create steam in the oven while the chicken is cooking and add moisture to the meat. And that's my secret. Also, very important, guys, once you take the chicken out of the oven, let it rest for 3 to 4 minutes, and this will also keep all the juices in the breast. For more tips and information on me, go to my site, gavinmurphy.com.
All right, welcome back to Money Never Sleeps, and we were talking about Twitter, and let's talk about those strategic acquisitions. And actually, one particular acquisition made by Twitter, I see it as being very smart because I understand how the technology works. It's called Periscope. Now, Periscope is a great platform. And I've been personally using it to get used to the way it works, that you're able to put hashtags in and just how you have to broadcast, all right? Now, what it does, it allows a user to sign up via their Twitter account so they can use the same username, which is pretty cool. You want to do that. You don't want different usernames all over the place. And more importantly, it links to their Twitter account, so it makes their followers aware when they're broadcasting. So when they go and they're going to broadcast live, it sends a message to via Twitter. It goes to it goes to all their followers, and boom, the followers know that they're broadcasting live. So that is as far as the integration goes. The platform allows users to interact in real time with the broadcaster, which is great. Basically bringing them into the show because they become part of the show because they're able in real time to either give users hearts. I think it's irrelevant, but as you're doing it, some people like hearts, they like the likes, and it gives access, and the access to the users on a global scale is a key thing, and it allows the user to ask questions and send little messages in a bubble, just like they're texting, or like they're texting back and forth, and the broadcaster gets to see this. Now, the broadcasting when you're broadcasting on Periscope, of course, is using the data on your phone, as is basically opening a window to the world. And it allows the broadcast to be saved on your phone as well. So that's a good feature if you want to later on go put it on YouTube or something like that, or other platforms to get further distribution on it. The broadcast on Periscope itself stays active for a period of 24 hours, so it keeps all the content fresh. I think that if you follow someone, you probably can see the content a little longer than that, but from what I'm understanding, it's 24 hours. Now, those are the basics. All right. This is a new platform, and no one really has gotten a handle on how to make it work to its fullest potential. But trust me when I tell you that this will be a powerful tool for the media, for music artists, for entertainers, actors and comedians, and also potentially live event producers. And this is the reason why. First, for the media. Now, this will be an added bonus for their viewers, as it will allow them to not only bring their TV viewers behind the scenes, but also interact with them in real time. Some media outlets do this via Twitter, but this is a way to do it while they see you. So instead of having a second screen, you're bringing both screens together, which is really interesting. And so they're able to do it because, again, it's mobile. So they're able to do this on the move. They don't have to be in front of their TV to actually do this. And this can open doors for smaller media outlets to broadcast their live shows without incurring the expense of actually having a network or broadcasting on a major scale. And I'm just throwing out possibilities. Okay, this can be, again, from the media, if you're having a news broadcast, if you're doing interviews, if you have an MMA event, a boxing event, stuff like that. Okay, so now this brings me into live event broadcasters. Now, this can be a money shot for them, especially if Twitter does this. If they incorporate, and I would love for Twitter to do this, that they incorporate a pay-per-view function. Now, meaning if there's a live event and it's taking place somewhere in the world, Let's say you're in California. This thing's taking place somewhere in South America, okay, or in Europe, and the event broadcaster, what they can actually do, and it may not be a major event, it can be a smaller event, but what the event broadcaster can do, they can use Periscope to broadcast the entire event. And they can charge users a nominal fee to do so. And of course, Twitter would have to incorporate an advanced version of Periscope for this, but it's a definite possibility and it's doable. Okay? And it could be a moneymaker for Twitter longer term. And again, with the live broadcasting, let's say you're working that day. You're working. Okay, you're a hard-working person. You're at work. Meanwhile, your spouse has your kid at soccer or basketball or playing baseball. Your spouse can actually Periscope the game so you can see it at that moment, live. Now, how cool is that? Now, another benefit is for entertainers and music artists. And this is a no-brainer. As a music artist, you can connect, or an entertainer, comedian, actor, you can connect with your fans in real time. And give, as a musician, you can give them a gift of a live acoustic show. Or as an actor or comedian or something, you can do a Q&A session. You can make your fans, and what this actually does, you're taking a fan and you're making them into a super fan as they are connecting with them in at a more human level. Well, as human as you can get digitally, but I think you get the point. And this is one acquisition that could potentially pay off big if Twitter does it right. They have to do it right. Now, here's my opinion on a possible acquisition of Twitter, because, again, I talked about it early in the show, and rumors are continually flying around about this. Firstly, I think it would be a big mistake if Twitter sold out. Yeah, it'll put cash in the pockets of investors, but it could also potentially kill a platform that hasn't even come close to its full potential. Facebook hasn't even come close to its full potential. Neither is Google, for that matter. It's not just about the social media aspect. There's everything else that can be done beyond it. Okay, so if this is any indication of the true upside potential long term for Twitter, then selling the company would be a major mistake. And honestly, if they did sell the company, it would be a cash out. I think it would just be cashing out, and it wouldn't, granted, the investors and everyone, they'll make money, but at the end of the day, to me, it's like you're selling out. Okay, and it's not what the company was initially founded to do. And that is to connect the world and make a difference. That was their whole thing in the beginning, to connect the world, let the world communicate on a micro level, but on a major scale. The money will be the easier part once they learn how to monetize their assets, and they have all the components. They have them. So yeah, do they need to clean house? Yeah. Do they need to get fresh eyes in there? No doubt about it. They need someone fresh with fresh ideas and fresh views. And they need to handle a lot of things differently. And I guess this is one of my pet peeves. They need to handle the verification process much better than they have been. I can't tell you, I have so many friends on Twitter who are legitimate notables, sports stars, authors, TV personalities, film stars, and it's a big battle for them to get verified. It blows my mind. And trust me, I try my best to send out tweets to Twitter, making them aware of this, the best I can. So it's not like I'm not trying to help. And yes, I know that my account isn't verified either. But, this is how difficult it is to get that blue check. Meanwhile, I get complaints all the time that there are accounts out there that are meaningless, that aren't even connected with anything, that have this check. So there's something that has to be fixed to keep those notables using the service. So you want to fix that. If anyone at Twitter is listening, come on, you have to verify these accounts. And because the reality is, if you have a notable using Twitter, and no one knows it's them, they're not going to get the followership that they're looking for. And this happens all the time, where I hear it from people, and they start utilizing, they'll go back to Facebook or something else where people know it's them. Okay, I mean, so many. If you just look at when I tweet something out, when I'm tweeting the people get verified, you can easily check to see if these people are real. But Twitter, you have to verify people. You have to fix your system. Okay, so with that said, that's my rant with the verification. That because that bugs me a little bit. And going on to the next thing, Twitter, they need to make more strategic vertical acquisitions that will allow them to expand their reach and increase their user base. They have a global base. Their users in the U.S., they're growing, but they need more. They need more. I think that they're at about 300 million or so. They need more. They need more people utilizing the service. It's a great platform, but they need to enhance it more and make it better for, or actually make it so that you want to attract more people. You have to upgrade. And they've been doing things. There's no doubt they've been doing things, but I believe they can do more. They have all the tools. This is the thing that kills me further. They have all the tools there, and I know it. I see it. But in the end, if you don't have someone to use the tools, then, the house is never going to get built. So they need a master builder, someone that's a true leader who understands how to grow the business, that understands how Twitter operates, that understands the bigger picture. They need to make a strategic alliance, as they have with Google, with other outlets, with other media outlets. And I know they've been doing some things, but again, I believe they can do more. There's no question they can do more. And the future could be really bright long term for Twitter if they do things right. And it all comes down to having the right people in place, implementing and executing the right plan, and making it work. If they go and they make acquisitions that allow users to do different things, because I know they had the Vine, which was like a flash in a pan situation, because then once Instagram came out, it kind of like killed a lot of that. You don't see too many videos on there. I mean, people are using it, but they could have got more traction if it was something that was separate, and they just, I don't know. I mean, there was a way to do it that they didn't capitalize on it, and Facebook did. And that's the difference. When you have true leaders in place making stuff happen and not trying to reinvent the wheel, but looking forward. Where are these things, where are these components going to be in the next 5 years? How can they grow? Are they just going to be, sharing pictures, or what more could it be? See, that what more is the question. And for the people that have vision, they have the answer. Well, at least they have a picture they can paint, and they can share that with people. I'm not going to comment on the stock price, because, today I just want to talk about what I see long term for the company. And again, if they sell Twitter, I think it would be unfortunate, because I do believe it would kill a platform. I think them making strategic alliances like they did with Google, and I think investors longer term will benefit more than having a cash out, in the next 6 months or a year. If they do that, I'm going to be very disappointed in the company itself. And anyway, that's about it. That's about it for my input on Twitter. And that's about it for this episode of Money Never Sleeps. Keep in touch with us. As I said, we're going to be, we're looking to make this into a daily show. So that's why I'm able to do these half-hour shows and actually talk about different things, because every day the topic's going to be different, and we want to hear from you. Go to moneyneversleepsradio.com. You can hear, past episodes, but also get in touch with us. Get in touch with me on Twitter. Send me messages if you have any input, or if you have a company that you think that we should feature. Send it out to me. I read everything that comes to me. So just make sure you do that and get involved with Money Never Sleeps, because this is not the me show, it's the for everyone show. Okay, so get involved and be a part of Money Never Sleeps. Okay, so again, you can go to moneyneversleepsradio.com, read articles and so on and so forth. Anyway, I want you guys to have a profitable rest of the day and rest of the week for that matter. And thanks again for tuning in to Money Never Sleeps Radio.
Initiating shutdown sequence.
You're listening to UCW Radio. In your face.
What is your major malfunction?
So let it be written. So let it be done.
Ladies and gentlemen, my mother thanks you, my father thanks you, my sister thanks you, and I thank you.
All opinions expressed by Louis Velazquez on the Money Never Sleeps radio show and its website are solely his opinions and do not reflect the opinions of the UCW radio show or their parent company or affiliates, and may have been previously disseminated by him on television, radio, internet, or another medium. You should not treat any opinion expressed by him as a specific inducement to make a particular investment or follow a particular strategy, but only as an expression of his opinion. His opinions are based upon information he considers to be reliable, but neither the UCW radio show nor its affiliates, parent companies, and or subsidiaries warrant its completeness or accuracy, and it should not be relied upon as such. The UCW radio show, Louis Velazquez, its affiliates, parent companies, and or subsidiaries are not under any obligation to update or correct any information provided on the radio show or on the website. His statements and opinions are subject to change without notice. No part of his compensation from the UCW radio show is related to the specific opinions he expresses. Please read the full disclaimer on MoneyNeverSleepsRadio.com.